In your face!
Sign?
Yep.
Hey there, and before this video starts, I want to tell you how to easily find the gameplay clips you want to watch. The easiest way to find the right gameplay clip is to hover over the timeline so you can see which part of the video features what. If you are using the mobile version of YouTube, you can also do that by holding the timeline and moving it to the left or right. You can also use the description to find a better overview of the whole video. Also keep in mind that you can click on the blue time codes in the description to jump to the gameplay clips as well. So the video will be split in three major parts, starting with the Stellfahrtstrecke Köln-Aachen, followed by the Bakerloo line and the route sand patch grade at the end. For more information, you can check out the description. Oh, and by the way, all credits to the Train Simulator channel from Dovetail Games. And now, have fun with the trailer of the Schnellfahrtstrecke Köln-Aachen. Hope you enjoy!
Right. Okay, there we go. We've got high speed.
So this is the new screen that comes up when you start a service. So it tells you what your starting weight, how many vehicles, how long, what kind of train, and it also reminds you then what you're doing. So if there's any instructions in the service description, they're in there as well. And then on the bottom left-hand side is just a summary of from and to. So if you want to click on, while you're reading this, by the way, the game is paused, so you can take your time.
I figured as much.
So if you want to click begin.
Right, we need to turn on the stuff, right?
So you need to, first thing you want to do is get the passengers working. So press it, put it into forwards.
Put it into forwards?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I only did the tutorial and I've done it once. Hang on.
So that's the red line, yeah, put it into forwards. That activates the cap. That's what it activates the cap in.
Okay, that turns it
now
on.
You want to do the doors, open them onto the right-hand side.
Okay.
Which is,
You could tell me, or I could spend the next 10 minutes looking for him.
Left one.
Left?
That's it. Nope.
There, okay.
Open it to the right.
Is it?
I think they're on the right.
Door control, open, right, close left. There you go. There you go. All right. Good.
Right.
Let's fire up all the annoyances.
Let's get all the annoyances fired up. So if you stand up.
I'm allowed to call them annoyances, you're not.
If you press the C button to crouch, just because it makes life a bit easier to see what you're doing, turn around. No, it's that's it. That cupboard in front of you there.
Ooh.
Right, inside here there are three controls. There are the second row down, left-hand three.
Mm-hmm.
And they are
CFA. Yeah, let's be having you. PZB. Come on then. And LZB. Bring it. I'm ready.
Right, that's it. And there is a battery switch in there, but we don't need that because the loco is powered up already.
Okay. All right.
And because you're using safer for the first time, I think we should probably stop the passengers from seeing what's going on. So if you look down to the right-hand side.
Hold on, let's show it this. Look, over here. Ooh. Look down to the right-hand side. Yes.
All right, and one of those buttons on the right-hand side is the lounge opaque window. So if you click that.
Yeah, fools. Okay. Yeah, you can't see me at work. No, sir. Right, okay.
Right, so, unfortunately, I can't see the safety system lights because Teams has put my camera in there. Oh, here we go, I can get rid of it. Excellent. I thought I could get rid of it.
Right, lights dimmed. No, lights dimmed high beams. Yeah, no, let's give it the beans there. Cab lights, I'll leave them alone. No, actually, we might go... Do we go through any tunnels? Doesn't matter, I'm turning it on anyway. Right, horn, we'll do that in a moment. Coupling control. There's a lot of buttons on here, man. I'm not
Yeah,
at
just
ease.
push that into the top one, which is the close button for now. Right, so before we start moving, let's go onto the left-hand MFD.
The what now?
The left-hand multifunction display, one of the big screens.
Yeah.
That's it. Zoom in, and you want button 9 to select AFB, sorry.
Yeah.
And then we just want to switch it on with V Sol Freigabe.
Sol Freigabe. Okay, hang on.
Just press the 6th button.
The 6th button. Oh, okay. All right.
It's a
Yeah.
quick function.
The
So
cursor
AFB
doesn't work.
is now turned on.
Okay.
And we're good to go. So before we get moving, let's get AFB set to 40 kilometers an hour by moving the left hand of those levers up to 40.
Gotcha.
That will protect you from PZB going and doing anything unpleasant for you.
Okay.
So you're now good to go. I think the doors are closed, so you can release your brakes and go. Brakes are off.
All right.
And then put some power on. Just give it about 40%.
I'm going gentle because I plan on going outside. Flip it up, it's loud out here. This is my first time out. I'm doing a bit of camera. This station's very loud.
I can't hear it, so I don't know.
It's very loud. I've probably scared a few people at home. The reason you can see preserved collection stuff going on here is because I'm running off a development build. So we've got a bunch of work in progress stuff that's running on this route as well. Okay, yeah, right. I'm back under your tutelage there, Professor.
Okay, give it a bit more power. You can see on the left-hand side on the HUD. Oh, you need to press Q, sorry. That's it.
Yeah.
So if you look on the right-hand side, where the gradient display is on the HUD,
Yeah.
there's 2 blue indicators. One says B.
Yeah.
That one says LZB is primed and ready as soon as LZB wakes up, so it's ready to go. And then the other one is the 85, which is probably flashing 8570 at the moment.
It is.
Yeah, so you can press the end button now on your keyboard to end and release from monitoring because we're all in greens now.
All right.
So that's now stabilised on 85.
I mean, it's all very... I've got a yellow exclamation mark.
Press Q.
Oh, that's the
Anytime
C
that
for
yellow
C for
exclamation
button.
mark
Right,
comes
okay.
up, that's the C for CIFA. So now, if you wanted to press that C end button on the controls, if you look down to the left-hand side of the cab, there are 3 controls on there. On the very left-hand side of that, these third. So that's PCB acknowledge.
Yeah.
End is the one that operates PCB fry. PCB release is the one that you would pull if you wanted to operate the control manually to do that function. Right.
I'm absorbing none of this.
Right, so the current speed limit is now 60, so you can just use that AFB lever and just push us up to 60 kilometers an hour.
Okie dokie.
Right, so the AFB bracket has now moved up and the train has now started to speed up. And we can give it some more. It's going nicely. So what happens is just around this corner is where LZB kicks in. There's a little post on the ground that says literally LZB, and a cable starts in the middle of the track. And effectively what happens is that the computer then on board will pick up the signal coming from that cable, and you'll hear a buzz. You'll hear a buzz as the thing then activates LZB, and then the thing that said B and 85 switches to U with dots on it, which essentially says you are now in LZB control.
Okay.
That will happen any minute now as we come around this corner.
Don't you realise that if without this piece of knowledge that you've just fed to me, I would basically be terrified when it happened and go, "What? What do you want? I don't." There's the LZB sign.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
And it's just switched to the U. So that means you're now under LZB control. So take that AFB lever and push it all the way forwards.
10-4. Come on, son. Let's be having you.
Automatically limits itself now to the speed limit.
There's some scenery going on over there.
Yep, there's scenery. There is scenery in Cologne.
Okie dokie. All right, good. All right, what do I do next?
Cologne Hansaring is there. We went past Cologne Hansaring earlier on. It's an S-Bahn only station. Press Q. That's it. So we're currently limited to 80 kilometers an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And what will happen is very shortly that'll go up to 140, and again you don't need to do anything. The train will pick it up automatically and accelerate.
I'll go make a cup of tea.
Yeah, at this point, you are basically pressing the CIFA button. You are, when a light turns on, press a button. Well, obviously, in reality, you're paying a little bit more attention to what's going on with the train. You notice the speed limit just changed, AFB automatically adjusted, and the train's accelerating. So now we're heading up. We get to 50 kilometers an hour momentarily.
Train's gone. All right. No, this is good. So, how fast are we going to get up to here? Because we're doing the full length, aren't we? So, what are we expecting out of the beast?
You'll be getting up to 250 kilometers an hour in this journey. In fact, we will be going to 250 in a minute now.
Okay. Yeah, we're on 250. Come on, that big dog. Let's be having you. Just got to wait for the tail end to pass through.
160 presses. That's it. See, you're a master at this CIFA stuff.
It's all right. It's all good.
So back on the HUD again, you'll notice now that there is a new indicator, the blue indicator there with a 99 at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
That is a HUD representation of what's between your two speed gauges in the middle of the main HUD, which currently says 9900 on it. If you look down a little bit so you can see the bar in the middle
I'm with you. Yeah, right here.
It's basically, that's a HUD version of that graph. That is telling you how far is it until the next change. Now at the moment, the speed indicator underneath, so on the right-hand gauge there is your speed limit, is your current speedometer, sorry.
Yeah.
There you go, we just got the clearance to 250, so the train's accelerating. At the bottom of that, it says 160.
Yeah.
Right, that is saying that the train knows that there is a 160 km/h speed limit coming up
after 9,900 metres.
It's actually probably about 13 kilometres away at this point. It's quite a long distance. The train is looking 14 kilometres ahead of itself.
Gotcha.
What will happen is that 9900 will start going down as that 160 becomes closer.
Awesome.
So you can predict 10 kilometres away where your speed reductions are going to be.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to do a quick blast outside. We're coming up on 200 kilometres an hour now, which is about what, 120 miles per hour, something like that.
200 is 125.
All right.
So this is as fast as we've gone in Train Simulator legitimately so far.
Okay. All right. Well, then it's all about, let's see what stable speed looks like. I got it. She says C for half a dozen times before she gets in a strop with you, so it's all.
The nice thing about CIFA actually is that even once it gets upset and starts putting the brakes on, which you'll see the blue bar on the left-hand side drop and go to negative.
Hold on a moment. Hang on. In your face, slow coach. Sorry, had to be done.
So one of the nice things about CIFA is that you can interrupt it. So as soon as you press the button, CIFA will release and reapply. So you can. It's not like you have to wait for it to stop just because you're late. As soon as you press it, it releases everything and then it will carry on.
No, I've broken it before. It's not my first rodeo having broken it, so that's all good. I apologise for the little cursor dot. If I move the little cursor dot that way a little bit, you get a better view. There you go.
Can you kernel cam at these speeds? No, not really.
Using the 3 cam. I don't think I'd keep up, would I?
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
All right, I'll do it after the next C for
the 3
There we go. Right, you're going. No, this is turbo kernel cam, and I'm being outpaced. I'll tell you what, this is a nice view. I like it. I maybe fall quite so low down. No, that's spanking. No, that's most appealing. Oh, I like it. Yeah, that's good. What are the brakes like on this? Just curious.
Brakes they're effective. Its stopping distance at 250 kilometers an hour is 2 or 3 kilometers. It's not a rapid braker under normal circumstances, but you'll find that it's quite responsive. If you want to apply more braking than is normally used.
Okay.
So one of the things we'll find coming up at some point is on the speedometer there, you can see normally you'd see a red indicator telling you what the speed limit is, and actually what you're seeing currently is a blue indicator.
Is that because of safety systems being locked in?
Yeah, cute. If you again zoom in on the main speed gauges in the middle there, you'll notice that there's like a red speed target bug
Yeah.
then that's essentially the LZB target speed. So that is the speed limit LZB thinks you should be going.
Right.
If you exceed that by too much, it starts putting brakes on and getting all sorts of upset with you. And that blue indicator on the HUD is the equivalent of that LZB target speed.
Okay. Do these cautionary tales at the bottom here illuminate accordingly when the time
Yeah,
comes?
so it's difficult to see. It's certainly at night time. So other times of day you'll see it more clearly, but the hue is lit up for the moment, for example.
Hold on, we need to do a blast of the horn from outside here. I like it. Sorry, I hit 2 buttons at once there. What, see through?
The number of times I've done all sorts of crazy things, and I've been smashing the ski and going, getting myself into a panic and causing myself more harm. Does the nose cone open? Yes, it does. I can't remember what
Does
I
it?
open the nose cone, but yeah, that's how it's coupled. That's how you couple two together.
Alright, good. You know what? This might not be the most adventurous route ever, but this is great fun. Tanking it along at a fair old leg.
So one of the things that's really interesting this route is that you do the high speed run, which is a fair few kilometres, and then you have to do the switch over back from LZB to PZB once we get around the Düren mark, and then at that point we're back then under PZB control, and Aachen is going to cause us some challenges. Because of all the speed reductions coming into the station, so I'll have to build a wall to tell you what to do there. What it does is it means that any run eastbound or westbound is actually quite a good variety of different stuff. We've got safety systems on. The speeds change quite a bit as well. So it means that it's quite handy from that perspective.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. All I took from that was just words. But I'm waiting. You'll give me instructions when the need arises. Oh, we're in the final countdown.
Yeah, so you can see the distance coming down, and in fact it's coming down on the HUD as well. We're at 70 on the HUD.
I've got it. Yeah.
Now that won't, the blue bar doesn't come down, the same as on the main one, until around 4,000, if I remember rightly. So that's giving you advance notice of what's going on.
Yeah.
But actually, it's advance notice, but because we're under AFB control, it's automatic. So again, what you're going to see in a minute is it will start bringing the speed down automatically, and you'll see that LZB target speed indicator going sliding down, the AFB sliding down with it, and the train slowing down with the white bar all automatically.
So I just need to hit Q once in a while, and we're all good here.
Yeah, until we get so once we get down to 160, then I'll start talking you through the process for doing the switch back to PZB.
I'm excited to be a part of it.
Right, so just hit the 4,000, which means the bar graph is now dropping on the HUD.
Yep, we've got 3 and a bit kilometres to a 200.
Yep.
Oh, we got a G.
Right, that means that we are now in the braking curve, so the speed will start dropping shortly.
Okay, alright. Oh, this is good. No, this is splendid.
There you go, braking curve has hit, so we're now slowing down.
Yellow to imply that the AI is taking over the universe. Sarah Connor will be furious.
So we're now dropping to the 200. And as soon as we've done that, that's in 1.2 kilometres. In the scenario editor, can you put different locos on different routes, like a Grok on TWR? So using the off the rails mode, you can put anything anywhere you like. Forza Horizon, yeah. You can even run electric trains on non-electric routes. Right, so LZB has just finished that one now. We've now got 200. Yeah, we've now got another one coming down.
Okay.
160. So again, I'm going to get dropped down to 160 shortly. Now, the next thing we are looking for, and it will come up shortly after the 160 finishes, is a light that says END, N-E-N-D-E.
Mm-hmm.
And that tells us that we're coming to the end of LZB.
Right, okay, gotcha.
Now, when that happens, you need to press the end button.
Okay.
That middle lever that I showed you.
No, I'm enjoying the view too much to fiddle with the controls at the moment. I'm quite happy just keyboarding it for now. Oh, splendid.
This is so as Sam's mentioned earlier, a couple of people commenting on framing, this is a development build, this is not a shipping build.
So you will see stuff in here that will not be in here on the regular edition of the game when it first comes out. But obviously if you've got some preserved collection stuff, it will start turning up as preserved collection launches.
Yeah, that's cute. Right, so we're now slowed down to 160. Right, now what I want you to do is cut your throttle.
Yep. Okay.
That's it, and I want you to turn AFB off.
Is there an off or just
the lever? You just press the. If you zoom in on the left-hand screen, and you want the AFB else option.
AFB. Oh, on the what? Where? What?
Button number 1. AFB
oh, okay,
else,
I got you.
AFB off.
I'm there. Right, yeah.
Right, and now move the lever all the way back to 0.
10-4.
Good. Right. Wait for the end to come up. As soon as that does.
It came up a minute ago. I pressed it a moment ago.
Good. Right. In that case, we are now coasting, and we wait for PZB to wake back up.
Do we have to? There is a thing about not waking, sleeping emergency safety systems. What?
That PZB is now woke up.
Oh, hooray!
Right, so now if you re-engage AFB, press Q first. That's it. Now re-engage AFB with the VSOL Freigabe option. Leave that on 0.
What?
Leave that on 0. You've got to switch AFB on. That's it. Now you can set AFB to your target speed.
Alright, do 130. That makes me feel safer. There you go.
And then you can apply some power.
Alright, son, off we go.
There you go. Can you use LZB without PZB? You can, Danny. It's up to you which fuses you switch on and off in that panel. Again, you can use PZB without LZB as well. Although, if you use PZB without LZB, you will not be able to exceed 160 kilometers an hour. The train will stop itself from going faster than 160 without LZB.
For those asking, is there going to be a PS4 version? Yes, there is.
So only me. So what happens as part of the handover from LZB to PZB, because the train is being driven and we've set that AFB needle to handle all the way forwards. Imagine if the LZB suddenly is no longer controlling that AFB. What would happen without any kind of protection is the train would suddenly leap off into maximum speed, and you don't want that. You never want anything like that to happen. So essentially what happens is at the moment an LZB end comes on, you get an AFB lockout. The same as you sometimes get throttle lockouts, you get an AFB lockout. So what you need to do is switch it off, reset it, and then reapply it again, which is effectively you as a driver saying, I know I'm controlling this AFB, nothing's doing it for me. There's a number of actions that happen on trains like this, where you, by the virtue of the actions you take, you are taking command of the train, and by doing the action, it's clear you have done it intentionally, and the train has not done something for you.
This train's doing nothing for me, other than making me feel very happy.
"21 kilometers to Aachen." I tell you, the one thing I've observed is, having done 250 kilometers an hour in the first half of this route, 160 kilometers an hour feels like I'm stopped.
Oh, it really is. This is so pedestrian by comparison. Are there any passenger announcements? Only the ones that I do. So no. I copyrighted it, and now no one's allowed to do passenger announcements. Yeah.
Dr. Penguin, the IC and Bakerloo line are on this Köln-Aachen route, and the Talent 2 are part of TSW 2.
I've got my AFB set in a very conservative 150 kilometres an hour, rather than the signposted 160.
Yep, that gives you a little bit more of a window.
Not much more though.
Not much more. So 20 kilometres to Aachen. So you've got a little bit of a window before we start getting the reductions. But once we start getting down to speeds below 80 kilometres an hour, that's when the PZB fun starts.
Are you using air quotes with the word fun there?
Oh, I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm sure you are. Okay, this is all good. I'm enjoying it. We want to see the wipers. Where hold on, wiper speed. Yeah, I'll put it on 5 wipers. Give it some. There you go. Bit of wiper action there, wiper fans. And then we'll put a blind down as well. There you go. That's got everything going on now. Oh yeah. There you go. Wipers off. Oh, will it not park? Go on, park. Thank you. Yeah, I got you, Sifa. Right, okay. Yep, good. No, I'm on this. This is no problem. So this countdown measurer in the middle, the distance to target gauge meter effort there before you fire Mavericks, that's only for LZB.
Correct. That is part of the LZB system. Same as the speed limit that's shown at the bottom of the speedometer there. That again is also part of the LZB system.
So I've got
right,
a
120
coming up. Do I have to deal with that now?
You will have to deal with that now yourself. Press Q. You've got a little bit of time yet. I would say when it gets to 2 kilometers, just drop AFB down to 2.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, no, that was my plan entirely.
For those of you using the keyboard, RNF key will operate the AFB directly.
Okay,
or
not just keyboard users in the chat. No.
I know. But you can see how to operate the lever. It's not obvious what the keys are.
Right. Okay, let's
that down to 120.
There you go.
The train will now slow itself down. The reason we're doing it at 2 kilometers is just because it slows its rate of deceleration down, so the last little bit will take a bit longer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, some funky light reflection coming off the floor surface onto the window. I don't know if you can make it out or not.
Yeah, just about.
Oh, apparently it says at the top, reflection captures need to be rebuilt.
Yeah, that's something, again, it won't say in the real one.
No, it won't. If you can make out the tiny lettering in the top left-hand corner, that's all development build stuff.
Right, so as we pass this 120, be aware we'll probably get another reduction.
A what now?
Get another reduction, probably.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye out for that 110 again. I would say at 2 kilometers, drop it down to 110.
No, it only needs to drop 10 kilometers. I'll give it a little bit longer. Live on the edge, Matt. It's where life gets real.
Will you be able to put the complete HUD off on console? Yes, you can. You press and hold the options button or the menu button, depending on whether you're a PlayStation or an Xbox player, and it will toggle the entire HUD. The same as pressing the F1 key does on the PC. Don't press the F1 key, sir.
I'm not going to press the F1 key. It does fun stuff in the development build, like turns the entire screen black. I found that out earlier on. Alright, good. Hey, I'm racking up the points for driving legit. Although, to be fair, the train is doing quite a lot of the heavy lifting so far.
Actually, let's have a look at that. So press escape.
I don't want it to. That's going to spoil my flow.
Right, so this is the new pause screen. So on the pause screen now, the initial screen that comes up is an overview of where are you going, what do you need to know right now. So you're in the vicinity of Eschweiler, and the map will auto zoom to spot where you are. So if you want to know where you are, you just press the escape key, and you can immediately see where you are on the map. It's currently 14:08:07 and you're doing 119 kph. So the left-hand column is where am I now and what's going on right now. The right-hand column is where am I going and what am I doing. So in 12 kilometers you're going to be arriving at Aachen. You're due there at 14:15 and there is a speed drop to 110 coming up in 1.2 kilometers.
Nice.
So you've got some upcoming information going on there. You've got the map over there on the right-hand side to give you some contextual information. And then at the bottom you get an overview of, hey, it's Thursday, it's the 2nd of April. That sort of makes me feel like I'm now in the real world. And then you can see you're driving a BR406. The unit number is 406003. The vehicle number is 406003-4. And then it's the same information you got previously. So it's 8 cars, the total weight of the train, which is dynamic according to passengers getting on and off as well.
Does that affect adhesion and things like that? the weight of
all sorts
passengers?
things. Well, yeah, things like that will affect adhesion, and
Okay.
it's the whole weight of the train that's changing. So as you load up coal on sandpatch grade, or as you stop and unload passengers, you'll see that number will change. So if you press escape every now and again, you'll see that number goes up and down.
Okay.
And then you can see your train is obviously 199 meters. If you go over the schedule tab, that's pretty much the same tab that you've seen previously with what your actual task list is.
Yeah.
Press the speed tab. This is the fun from the debrief panel, but it's now available in real time.
So it's live.
So you can see that live, and you can see what's going on. And then message log is
everything it's told me to do so far.
Just a reminder of the things you've been instructed to do. So that's history, essentially.
Okay.
So we've got a bit more information in that pause screen now, so you can see what's going on.
That's fun. Can I get back to my train now?
You can get back to your
Have you,
train
you
now.
finished showing people things?
I finished showing people that anyway.
Thank you.
Don't forget, drop to 110.
Oh, yeah, where are we? Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it this way. There you go. Just give it a... It's not giving me brakes, Matt. There you go. That's it. Oh, it'll do the brakes for me. You got half a kilometre, you'll be fine. There you go, it's done it. Right, let's punch this back up.
Right, so we're probably going to start getting some fun stuff happening now.
No. All right. Which keys am I using for brakes on this one? Because it's not a combined handle, is it?
It is the apostrophe semicolon.
Thank you.
Right, this looks like... I can't remember the name of the station. Steinbeck something.
Alright, I've got a minute. Let's go have a look. We'll keep pace with the big dog.
Sifa.
Thank you.
Is this out now? No, it isn't. Not yet. Later game. It's 20th of August.
Couple
Although
of
the pre-order is now up on Steam if you're a Steam. Right, keep an eye out for this. We are 140 finishing, which is in 400 meters, because we're going to start getting the reductions down.
Well, that's an increase. The 140
I know
not.
it is. It's that's going to trick you. You're going to get all excited about that 140.
Alright, I won't then. I'll stop being excited immediately.
Sifa.
You don't need to... She'll tell me. It's fine. When she starts yelling, I start punching buttons.
Alrighty. Just to make life a little bit easier, we'll just stick at the lower speed.
I had every intention of doing just that. It is my grim determination not to hose this. I tell you, your laughing fills me with a massive amount of confidence. Thanks.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Right, so the way PZB works, the key that you're going to need to use is the page down key, which is the on that PZB by buttons over there is the big round button with a 6 circle on it. But no, the right hand side. That's a PZB acknowledged. But I would suggest that use that on the Xbox control.
That's the
one.
ball handle.
Alright then, fine. It's the ball handle.
That's round.
On the Xbox and PS4 controller.
That's a ball. Come on, man, get your terminology right,
round.
or this is going to go very badly wrong.
So on the Xbox controller, you press the B button to activate that control, and on the PlayStation 4 controller, you press the hurriedly gets PlayStation 4 controller circle button to activate that. So even if you're not using a keyboard, you have rapid access to that button. So on the keyboard, it's the page down key, and it's important you react quickly to that button to what's going on. Now, this is not PZB. You are not acknowledging an alarm. The fun with PZB is that you need to just know to press the page down button or the acknowledge button. However, the rules are quite straightforward. Basically, if there's any yellow, you need to press it. So we've got the speed. You'll see as we come up. So what's going to happen as we approach Aachen is we're going to get speeds. Now, PZB starts. You need to start acknowledging stuff the minute you're under 80 kilometers an hour.
Roger that.
And so when we start getting reductions, or warnings of reductions, sorry, is at the point we need to get them. So what we're going to see this signal coming up here. It's a single green with a double green. That's telling us that this signal we're clear to go through, and at the next signal we're clear to go through. At some point we're going to get something like a green yellow, or we're going to get white numbers on there, and that's when things start getting fun.
Details. All right, good. Okay, well, we've only got 4 and a bit kilometres to go, so it's going to be absolutely fine. It's going to be fine. It's just gonna be fine. Just fine. It's what it's gonna be. Alright. I'm just on SFS standby at the moment. So PZB's only going to start making my life more entertaining when we get to 80 and below.
Yeah, as someone said, technically it's 100 kilometres and below, but there's details and complexity from what we're doing here. It'll be under 80.
Right.
I'm not trying to give the code total tutorial on PZB here, folks.
Don't cross the streams, Matt.
Although maybe that would be
I use my superhero name when I do the other things. Otherwise, you'll fool me, and I'll drift into just being a buffoon.
Right. So there's a flashing green with the 12. That's telling us we need to be going at 120, which is fine. We're under that, so we're good. That flashing green you don't need to acknowledge because it's at a sensible speed, i.e., it's above the 80 or 100. So we're all still good. As we go, so watch that speed limit going down so we get the visibility of the next speed limit, but keep an eye on the signals that are coming up as well.
I'll look at them.
So we've got a signal coming up.
Yeah. This one's got a bit of a pulsing green action with an 8. No, a 10.
You need to press the page down as we go. No, you press the page down. I don't think you need to on that one, but that's fine. So drop your speed, target speed down to the 100.
Flashing light 10.
So this is where the 10 so it's the next signal, the 10 starts. You can cut the power, by the way. Now we are just slowing down from here on in. Press page down.
What? Where was my warning for that? I wanted to let me at least hear the warning.
You looked down as the signal came, signal came past. So slow down to 70 because that's the next speed limit.
You've still got that physicsy thing where if you're gripping the handle and slowing down at the same time.
Right, so that signal is saying your next speed limit is 40. Press page down.
Yeah. But it hasn't asked me to do anything. Or is it the signals that are giving me the instruction?
And press page down again. And get your target speed down to 40. Press page down again.
No. I've learned that now. If I'm going faster than the number on the thing, let it know. Yeah, I've seen it. I'm dealing with it. Just, shut your noise.
You're good. That's it. You've got the hang of it. So on a signal, there are speed numbers above. So this one's got 4 above. So that's saying from this signal onwards, 40 kilometers an hour applies. If the speed limit is below, if the number is below, that's saying from the next signal that it applies. So you can just stay at 40 or you can stay down a bit. You're coming to the station now.
Nope, not gonna.
So you need to you got your power, so now you can just use your normal brakes to come into a normal stop. This is your responsibility.
How good are the brakes?
Fairly decent, actually.
Alright, okay. Well, let's give it a dab and see what we get here. Yeah, alright. Dab's pretty good. Alright, that's good. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It says that as Colonel's applying his brakes down there, you can see they're applying in unison because this is a blended brake setup. As you apply that one lever, both the electric brake and the air brakes are being handled.
Ready to weep. 3 meters.
Nicely done.
Nice. Where's my door handle?
The door open to the right.
Yeah, that's it. On the flipping, open that side, do this, do that, do the other. Right, let's go and have a look in the... hold on, I've still got my glass frosted. Where's my glass deep? No, it wasn't in there. Hang on, I'll find it. I knew where it was. Oh, it's over here somewhere. There you go. All right, get off my oh, they've already gone. Hello.
Just gonna have a wander down the coaches. Yeah. This is some really cool interiors. There's all these. There are 8 unique coaches on this, so they're all different.
I've been on these. I think I've been on the ICE.
You can even open these doors and go in here.
Sweet. Conference rooms. Alright, we've arrived. Get off the train. Right. Ow, flipping walked into the door. Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, that's it. Let's see, Aachen is verboten, people. I don't want to see any rowcroning going on in here. Matt, again.
No.
Every time. Look, it's a big... Look, you're ruining my immersion. Oh, cafeteria.
This is the bar cart.
Yeah. I want a soggy sandwich, please. No, it's closed.
It's closed.
That's just like, you know, every single cafe car on a Virgin train ever is always closed. I mean, they don't run trains anymore. This one doesn't work either. Oh, come on. Oh, hello. What's this for? We've got a comfy sofa thing going on there. That doesn't feel safe. Also, I'm losing points here while we're wandering up the train. I like it. So we've moved from what, first class into, this seems to be first class still. If the signage is to be believed. This looks like lesser first class than the first class we were in a moment ago. What's going on there? I'd be gutted if my ticket got me sitting in these cheaply upholstered numbers rather than the one I was expecting. Oh, so it's
Just
second.
click on one of those exterior doors to close it. Someone's asked if they can see that.
No, I don't want to
Click
give
no.
up control. Do what, sorry?
Go and click on one of those doors, the exterior doors, to close it. Someone's asked if they can see that.
That's tasteful.
There you go.
Right, good. I better go and close the doors or it's going to ask me if I want to give up control again, when it's very obvious that I really don't.
Someone's asked about destinations. They're done via one of the screens in the cab as well, on the left-hand side. Same as normal.
Well, let's change one and go and have a look. Although this is going to end the service, isn't it? Presumably.
Yeah, don't lock the doors yet then. So if
Okay.
you sit back in the cab,
Yeah.
in the seat, and then look at the left-hand screen. Now, if you this time you press the UD button on the top right.
UD, right? UD.
Press that. Sit again.
That doesn't look right.
Right, this is where you can set destinations. So press the down button, I think it is.
Zug
Go.
1.
Press enter. I'll try going up. Sorry, into the top one.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh,
and now
we're
you
nicht
press-
einsteigen. Don't
Yeah, so
do
if
not
you now
board.
use the left and right, if I remember rightly.
You do?
There you go. So you can now choose where your destination is going to be, and then so there's Frankfurt Main, Brussels Midi. Those are the only ones that are programmed into this because the ICE 3M doesn't actually go to that many places. And now if you go and have a look outside, you should see that
I'm on my way.
the board is all now set up on the exteriors.
There you go. No, sweet. That's all good. No, like it. There you go. Oh, if you get in proper close, you can even read this spidery language going across the middle. Marvellous. Fantastic. No, that's good. Right. Oh, excellent. Right, climb the flipping. Get on the... Just open a ruddy door. Get back in here. I want
And
my
we see
medal.
the coupler opening. So if you sit back in the seat and look down on the control desk,
Yep.
the right-hand side, one of those buttons, I think.
What am I looking
Can't
for?
remember which one it is.
What am I looking for?
What's the middle one?
What am I looking for? That one's
The
nothing.
coupler. That's nothing. Just go looking for the coupler. Left one.
Oh, I almost hit it earlier on. There you go. Coupling
That's
control.
it. Press that. And then go and have a look around the front.
Needs more doors.
There you go.
Oh, now will it Thunderbirds on me if I press the button and then quickly zip to an external view?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Hold on. Right, let's set up the external view. Right, there you go. Something like, I don't know. That looks pretty good as a free cam. Okay. Whoop. And stick it about there. Maybe up just a smidge like that. Right, back in. Right, ready, and wait for it. No, that's train brake. Ready, go. That's not helpful. Let's try that again, but get it right this time. Matt, broken it. It's broken.
I must admit,
Matt.
I've not actually played with that control myself, so I can't remember what the operation is to close the thing.
Well, presumably it's a toggle, right?
Oh, it closes
doesn't
when
have
you move.
multiple options on the thing. You just toggle it. And right, I'm really holding it down here.
Apparently it closes when you move, but we can't move because the doors are open, and as soon as you close the doors, the game will end.
Okay.
So, but there, you've seen it open at least.
All right, fair enough.
And,
right, well, I want to close doors because I want my points. And then we'll have a look at all of the scenarios in the list, and that'll probably do us. Hold on, I'll remember where it is. I will. I don't need your help there, clever man.
Before you do that, if you press
there
the
it
T
is.
key,
Just close the ruddy doors.
and then press the T key.
T is not for doors.
I know it is.
There we go. Flipping points. Woohoo! Okay. The diamond is lit because that is my high score on that one.
Yeah, in that case, that's
6,600.
correct.
Okay. Good stuff. No, that's definitely good. Right, good. Right, there we go. So we're going to do Talent 2 first. Where are we going on this one? I can't remember. This is the first scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, Talented Takeover. If I remember rightly, we start at Düren and we're heading west to Aachen.
Okay, magical. Right, so let's get this show on the road. Now, I'm a total Talent 2 total professional, you see, and therefore I'm going without any of the safety options on. But I will when we switch over to do the ICE, I will have all of the safety systems on, every single one of them, and I'm sure it will go perfectly.
It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the highlight of the stream.
If you say so, there, Governor. Right, there we go. I'm looking at the. Blimey, that loaded up fairly quick. Oh no, we've still got 15 seconds to wait. You know, that's the only downside to ever being on time is you have to then hang around waiting. And you just kind of go, I don't want to wait. I want to go. I've got places to be.
Passengers just get in the way of plane trains.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay. There we go. Let's get this functional. Right now, actually, I remember that dipped beam. No, that's not going to cut it. You want full beams, Gov. That's what we want. Right. Let's roll. Okay. There we go. Now, obviously, you can see what I'm doing, right? So if I get it badly wrong, then I expect you to give me suitable instructions to get it correct again. Because I'm going to be concentrating on not burning through speed limits too aggressively. There we go. Let's give it full juice here. There we go. Yeah, no, that's good. Hold on, no. I'm already going to break the speed limit. Look. Easy. There you go. See, the speed limit ups. It goes down and then back up again because you have to go through the points. It's a right hassle. Come on. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for the needle on the dash to pick. There we go. Right, floor it. Woohoo! Right, the game is a bit quiet. I can fix that. Hold on. The game might pause moments. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, okay. I'm going to do this quickly. There you go. Let's up the tempo on that. Matt, try not to speak too loudly. Otherwise, you might scare people. Because, there we go. I'm back in the room. Right, there we go. Can the distance font be enlarged? This one on the waypoint over there? Is that the one you mean?
I also possibly means the one on the top right hand side as well.
And the one on the top line. Yeah, okay. No, I'm with you.
But,
yeah, we've seen some feedback actually from people saying that they would rather have the fonts a little bit larger, just so they're a little bit easier to make out.
It is something that the UI designers are looking into, what we can do, because obviously you change the size of fonts and then the UI doesn't necessarily work, so you have to then make the UI bigger, which causes other problems. So it is certainly something the UI team are looking at. Yeah.
Okay, you are now allowed to speak louder. So just moving the microphone a little closer to your face, because right now you can't be heard over the train.
I can't be heard. Can you hear me now?
Even better than that, it sounds like you're coming in over the radio. It's perfect.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. Look, ignore the imperfections in microphone commentary here, folks. We're here to give it a good solid look. Matt's just coming in from headquarters. He's going to tell me when the lunch is ready. Can we change the font back to the original? Not at this stage. No. So with that, we've got the font that we've got. I don't know. Can we later drive the ICE 3? Yes, we're going to do that as soon as we finish this route. This particular scenario lasts about 30 minutes. And then once we're through this scenario, we shall drive an ICE scenario afterwards. Oh, I am overspeed. Matt, you're supposed to tell me this stuff.
I did tell you 3 or 4 times, but you were busy.
You didn't. I mean, come on. I can see you out of the corner of my eye. You can wave and stuff. You're not even on the screen. You can make obscene finger gestures at me, and nobody will notice unless I push a certain button.
Let me teach you something then. So if you let the train just coast for a little bit while I show you what controls you need. So if you look down.
Yep.
And what you're looking for is, as I say, a white button to the left of the throttle lever there, which I think highlights the temper map.
Okay.
So right now you know where that button is. Throttle up to maximum.
All right. Yep.
Right. Now wait until that speed onwards down the bottom there says about 159 km/h and click the temper map.
And that's what, like a cruise control kind of an
Cruise
idea.
control. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes life a little bit easier. Although saying that, in 2 kilometres I've got to drop to 80. I've pressed it. Hold on, I might have missed. There you go, I've pressed it now.
Now you've turned it off.
Yeah, no, it didn't work. We're slowing down.
Yeah, you worked the first time you did it, and
Oh,
then
did
you
it?
turned it off again. Yeah.
Okay, alright, good. Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that's good. Now, if I adjust the power handle for myself, I'm going to start slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Will that give me control back over the?
Immediately you touch that throttle handle, then the temper map is immediately disabled.
Okay, alright, got it. Right, 400 metres to go until 80 kilometres an hour. We'll be good. No, we'll be good. I really hammered the brakes on there as well, which is nice.
Stopping in 500 metres.
Yeah, I've got it. I'm on it. Don't just trust me. Look at this. Look, I'm going to hit 80 at exactly the moment the speed limit changes, and then I'm going to really. Oh no, I didn't mean the e-brake. I only meant max. There you go. There you go. No, stuff the passengers. Right, here we go. Come on. Oh yeah, he's got it. Ease
Yeah,
off.
you're good. You're good. Ease off. Ease off.
Ease it off. No, I've blown a transaxle. I'm just grinding metal. Close enough for government work. Right, let's get the doors open.
So I don't know if everyone's noticed in the top left corner, the time is now displayed up there, and the one below it is then the time that you're due to be there. So you've now got one place to look for what time is it and when am I due somewhere. So you'll see that when we get the next instruction come up, so you can see those.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, I bet we came in ahead of schedule. I mean, okay, some of the passengers are going to have to move through cars to get off the train, but it's a small price to pay for being early.
Peel themselves off the bulkhead.
Yeah. No, there we go. No, this is good. Will the does this digital display on the old side of the train here? Will that have updated to reflect the fact that I've stopped, or is that hard coded from the get go?
That's showing all the stations. So Ehrenfeld is the first one from Köln. Düren is next. Langeweid is next.
Right. So that's
all the stations from Köln.
From the start of the route.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. I'll do the horn on the next leg. Everybody wants to hear the horn. Right. Hold on. Let's bang that on. Right, so if I grip this up, oh I see. So if I thump this up to max,
your speed limit is 160. So that will hold it whatever speed it's doing at the time. That pressing that button will then hold that speed.
Or below.
It
will aim for that speed.
Yeah, it'll apply more power. What it won't do is apply brakes to hold you to it. So if you go down a hill, you may then need to take control of the train back. But what it will do is it will just keep the train up to the speed. So
gotcha.
So any second now you can hit the button.
I'm with you. I did this earlier. Somehow I don't think I'm going to beat my score because I drove this earlier and I was actually quite good at it. But now that it's in a live fire scenario, somehow it's being less successful. Right, let's get outside so we can do a proper train cooch blast. There you go, that's a bit of everything. the authenticity crowd in chat there will give us their judgment accordingly, and we'll see how that goes.
I had a request to show the interior of the passenger car. When we get to the next station, let's have just get out of the chair and have a wander around the interior.
You don't need to tell me twice. I'm quite happy to get out and go for a wander. That's fine by me. Yep. No, that's all good.
Question about train licenses. Once you get a license, is it easy to create new routes for that brand, or is a new license required for it? So once you've got the license, you have the license, but then every use of that license then gets reapproved. So yes, it's easier, but it's not like it just happens.
Okay. All right. Good. Those asking about pre-orders on console, I'm over speed again. Matthew, too late. I've done it. I've already done it. There's no point telling me after I've broken the law and noticed. You've got to tell me before it happens.
Okay.
Curses. No, I'm not trusting this tempo man caper. I wasn't over speed limit for very long. It penalised me 15 points. Anyway, those of you who are asking about pre-order on console will have more detail about that in, I don't know when actually, but eventually we'll definitely have more info on that. No info for you today though, as I think was mentioned in the news post, but it's always worth mentioning once. There we go. Right.
SYLNX 2.7 kilometres.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean,
we'll be doing ICE. We're doing ICE stuff after this Cobra.
Yeah. Once we've finished this, so once we finish this scenario, we'll go and do a timetable route using the ICE, where we're going to have all the safety features on, and I'm going to drive it really fast. I'm going to get over speed quite a bit here. I'm giving it max deceleration, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yeah. I hope the passengers are sat down. Because, well, even if they are, this is probably quite... I'm going, oh, no, it's fine. I've got 300 metres. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
You'll be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Someone asked me asked if we can talk through the HUD. So, a lot of the stuff is familiar. It's just laid out in a different way.
I can point, if you like. Look, I've got a pointy.
Stopping? Did you hit emergency or something?
I didn't hit emergency, not this time. I mean, don't get me wrong, that wouldn't be unusual. All right, hang on, let's put the brakes back on. Right, this is my emergency brake recovery system, right? You do a bit of that, give it a sec, right, and then you let the brake back off again. In fact, I usually
there you go. It's released.
There you go.
Good.
And then you thump it. Okay.
So one of the things that actually showed really quite nicely there was the throttle indicator, which is currently showing a 5 on the HUD, turns red if there's a traction interlock. So what that means is if for some reason the throttle is cut out and will not work, for example if there's an emergency brake application or safety system application or anything like that, then that turning red tells you that there's no point babbling your throttle around. It's not going to do anything, and then what you need to do is find out why and clear it so that you can get that. So that's information that wasn't available on the HUD before. To the right of the accelerometer, which is now vertical and lined up so we're in the way that you'd been related to how you'd expect it to be. Previously it was horizontal. To the right of the accelerometer is the door open close indicator. So in about 500 meters, what you're going to find is that actually they'll light up to tell you which side there's which side of the doors are open on there, so you don't have to check outside anymore. You can see very easily which side you need to open.
Oh, really? I'm going to try that out in 250 meters time.
So notice with the brakes on, the traction interlock is applied because you can't apply power. Now with a combined handle like this, it doesn't matter. It's how you'd expect it to work.
Okay, that makes total sense. I looked at it earlier on. I thought, it's just showing me that I'm slowing down rather than speeding up. But okay, no, that makes sense. All right, good. No, the two red arrow bits at the bottom that you might not be able to make out at home, they are telling me that I've got it in a negative acceleration position currently.
Right, so once we get stopped here, and Sam opens the doors.
Hold on.
In fact, before you open the doors, one thing I want you to do, if you look down at the door open controls.
Yes.
And you see there's two buttons to the top, above them. So let's click I can't remember which one's right for this platform. Let's click 57 centimeters, and then click open doors. Right, and now look outside. What you should find on the doors open side is that, there you go, the plate.
Do you get the foot ramp out?
The foot ramps out, and depending on which of those buttons you press, you get a different, the appropriate foot ramp will come out. If you don't press one of those, the foot ramp doesn't come out. So that's up to you which one you want to do on that one. We're going to have a wander through the passenger car, actually.
No problem. We'll be late, but I don't think anybody's really counting. Right, off we go. Tickets, please. Mein Damen und Herren, or largely Herren. Herren avec kein Hair. That mit. Sorry, I went into a bit of French there momentarily. That's good. No, that's fine. Do these not do the okie-dokie? Those just show the final destination?
They just show destination. Yeah.
Okay. Matt.
No, you can't go in the
Matt. I know you're not the one I need to get that sanctioned by, but even so, look, I just want to look. That's all. How am I supposed to gauge the world's finest train bathrooms if you're not going to let me go in there and have a look? Bit of floor sticker action. It's nice. I like it. It's good. I think I've been on one of these, you know. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, they're very common.
Okay.
We did it when we did it in Rapid Transit. It was in the silver livery, and I must admit, it suits the red livery so well.
I'll go back in through the inside. There you go. Oh, no, actually, people will go, you're hiding that the door doesn't work. The door works just fine. I just want it to be consistent, that's all. There you go, close that. And close that. Right.
Oh, before you turn around, actually, if
on.
you just have a look at that back wall, this is where all things like your safety systems will be turned on, exactly the same as it was before.
The LZB doesn't do anything on this one, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't have LZB on this one.
Okay. Right, okay.
Right, so if you go ahead and sit down.
Hang on, I'm showing off all of the buttons that do it. Wait, okay, it's just the PZB and the CFA, and the battery power up button, because you do that to start it with.
Yeah.
And that's all of that. Alright, good. Right, let's go, shall we? Oh, I've got to close the doors first, hang on.
Oh, so yeah, while you close the door, notice the door indicator is lit up on the right hand side, and then you see that.
That's why I closed the door. I actually double checked it first time.
Yep.
just flip. Amazing. Right, let's get out of here. We're going to be late, and it's your fault.
So the blue bar on the very left-hand side is the power force meter. It basically, does the same job as the one you can see in the centre of the HUD there that's circular. And each of the different power control systems on different locos just a slightly different version of that. So whether it's RPMs for a diesel or amps for a diesel electric, that's all going to be displayed in that general area.
Okay.
Later on when we get to LZB, there's stuff coming up there as well in addition to that. Next to that, you've got the brake gauges. So that's showing you in this case brake cylinder, main res and brake pipe. And instead of just showing you needles, it's now showing you the numeric values, which hopefully will make them easier to understand what's going on. On the main speedometer, you've got the speed showing up around the outside, and you've got the speed limit as the red mark, as it was before, except a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Now, once you get up to the speed limit there, if I go to once you get to about 110, if you can press Tempomat, because that shows something on the HUD as well.
Okay.
It's 110, about 109, press the button.
Pressed.
So, now you'll notice that there's a blue bracket appeared around there, so that's the new ray that's AFB target speed is rendered. Now, obviously on this you can't really change the speed, or you can actually. There's a button, there's a switch that you can push backwards and forwards if you look down a little bit. On the left-hand side, in front, towards the console next to the dash, the throttle handle. Down. Go follow the throttle handle forwards. That one. So if you
Gotcha.
click that one back towards you, then you'll notice the AFB handle, the AFB target speed dropped, and then the train dropped its speed accordingly. You can click it forwards again to speed up. So that's how you can use the AFB. Then you can manually make some minor adjustments to the speed using that, and you can see on the HUD how that's then reflected. There is an additional element on the HUD for LZB, which will show you. Once we get to the ICE. Yeah. The gradient display on the right-hand side is essentially the same as you're familiar with, just bigger and more readable. And then what you can't see, I think at the moment, because safety systems aren't turned on, is where the safety system indicators are below. But we'll get to that again. You'll see those on the ICE when we turn safety systems on.
Yeah. For those who missed the start of the stream, While we're on the Talent 2 here, we're going to run with everything off just to have a general poke around. And then for the second half of this stream, we'll be on the ICE3M, where we're turning on the works.
Yep.
As you were. Sorry, I was just, doing a bit of host
good
behaviour.
No, absolutely. And then I think the last thing to cover on this one certainly is at the bottom there are these brake symbol things that are. I'm waving my hands on a kind of way.
No one can see your hands.
I know. I can see them though.
That's probably fortunate.
If I couldn't see my hands, that'd be very worrying. But what you can see on the bottom there is the brake systems. So what we wanted to show you was what's going on with the brake levers. What's the input to the brake system? So on the left-hand side, you've got the air brake readouts. So this is what the output of the brake systems are doing. So the brake cylinder is at 2.1 bar, for example, which tells you that the brakes are applied. And then if you look over at the big brake symbols below, you can see that the electric brake is currently at 53%, and the throttle, the main combined handle, is showing at minus 100, because it's a combined handle. It's slightly weird. You can see kind of what's going on with this. Now, this loco actually mostly operates the electric brake. It only really uses the air brake when it's finally stopped. So it uses it as a holding brake. Essentially, it's automatically applied. So most of what you're doing there with the combined handle is just on the e-brake. But when you get to a loco that's got more, yes, there's a request to see the map.
Yeah.
As you get to a loco which has got more brake systems, like say for example an American one which has got the dynamics, the train brake and the loco brake, you'll see those. And then actually you can, if you're on a console, when you press the button to cycle them, it actually lights up to show you which one you're currently using as well, which you never really got to see before. So you can see all the brake systems and what they are all doing at a glance now.
Okay. We had a question come up about why is it so difficult to put the names of different stops on the map. We had a good conversation about this earlier on. Fill in the nice people. Why is it such a pain to put the names of stations on the map?
There is no good reason for it, I'm afraid. So the problem, it's one of these, the way that the map was originally developed turns out to be just difficult to put names on the map, or other things. We actually want to do a lot more than just names on the map. We want to try and make, because what you want from the map is all sorts of positional awareness of where maybe roads and rivers and all sorts of other things are. So we actually want to do more metadata on the map than just names. And it turns out that actually that's difficult with the way that the map has been implemented. So we've got some prototypes internally which kind of show that it can be made to work, although they're a little bit unstable, which is why they're not being used anywhere. But we also want to make it to where the map is more clear from a high level. So if you've got a little bit of time, about 1.7 kilometers, so if you just jump to the map real quick, and then zoom right out. On that map, where is Cologne? Where is Aachen? That's fine. Now if you zoom all the way in, now imagine that you're in Cologne and you've just got a big mess of names all over the place. So the whole point is to try and you can jump back to the game now. So the aim of the game really is to try and make it to where the map is clear at different zoom levels, showing different levels of information, and shows the names in there. So just putting strings on the map is harder than it should be because of just technical nonsense. But actually we want to go more than that and just do better, frankly.
So the names dynamically display as larger entities when you zoom out, rather than.
And it groups things together as well, so that it shows Cologne, and then as you zoom in, it says Cologne Station, and then as you zoom in, it says Cologne Platform 1.
Right. Okay.
So this is aspirational. We're in the aspirational section of discussion there, and clearly not in this version.
Okay. I'm not. The Talent 2, its last 20 kilometre mile an hour bleed off speed is slower than at any other point. Just so you know.
This is because it uses electric brakes. Electric brakes become less and less effective the slower you're going, and that's also why then at around, I think it's 9 kilometres an hour, the air brakes pick over and you suddenly come to a screeching halt.
Well, okay then. That makes. I did this one earlier. That's a collectible. That's a find the medical kit. Yeah. I found that one earlier.
Can you switch the cursor so you can move it out of the way? So on Certainly on PC, you can definitely change it. There's a control key that changes it. I can't remember on Xbox whether that can be done, but probably if you plug a keyboard in. But yeah, if you as well, I can't remember which control number key it is. You can change it from off to fully white to 50% opaque, which is what it's on at the moment.
You know what would be nice?
Functionality is still
You know what would be nice?
What?
Is if it auto disappeared if you hadn't moved it in 20 seconds.
I love that.
You know, it just vanishes by itself. Because obviously, look, while I'm focused purely on driving forwards, I'm not going to move the mouse.
Yeah, it can almost disappear pretty much, you know, within seconds of you not moving.
Yeah.
Because it's irrelevant.
As long as it reappears again as soon as I want it, that'd be lovely.
Yep. Yeah. No, I love that. I've just made a note of that.
Thank you. Put it on your action item list. I shall expect it before 2022. No delays.
I don't want to overpromise. Well, we got to the next station, 2.5 kilometres. So the other thing you can do on this is if you look over on the left-hand screen, that's not sorry,
This
the
one?
left-hand MFD. That's it. Yeah. So if you zoom in, and yes, on console you just use the left joystick to zoom in and out. I like this. And if you click button number 8 for the FIS.
Hold on, I'm just monitoring my speed. Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is the FIS setup. That you
What's
can use.
FIS for those of us who don't speak train?
I can't remember what it stands for in German. One of the German members. Essentially, it's destination points.
Oh, okay.
So you can see at the moment we are RE9 Aachen service, and if you use you see the up and the down arrows up on the right hand side there, you can pick a different one,
E to enter, presumably.
press E, and then that should change that.
Nice. That's high quality. I've got to do a bit of driving. Hang on.
Yeah, you should probably do some driving. Yeah.
Okay, good. Right. Oh, there you go. It's Franz Ichenauer. I know it's Hoch rather than Hock. I know. Look, it's an English thing. We're uncomfortable when we can speak languages other than our own, even slightly, and therefore we have to pretend that we can't. There you go. That's it.
Can you disable the stuff in the top right corner? Yes, you can, same as you have been able to before. There's an option in the settings for it, as it was previously, and there's also another magical control number key that will cycle through, and Control 4 cycles through the stuff on the top right side.
Control 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to blow it up if I do this now, is it? Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. All the details. What does? What's the other side? 3.
No. So Control 1. I don't think actually matters anymore
No.
because we've actually put the destination on the left, and the distance to destination is now always on the top left corner now. That's something that a lot of people asked for. Control 2 and 3 toggle the in-world displays of speed limit and signal indications, which default to off. Because again,
Don't mind me. I just broke it. Hang on. Carry on. Keep talking.
Which everyone told us a lot of people told us they preferred the indications on the top right compared to the in-world ones, but some people said they like the in-world ones. So don't forget to close your doors.
Hey, that's valid.
Train protection working correctly.
Well, it's going to it's got to work hard to protect it from me.
Brake cylinders coming off. That's it. You should now be able to apply. There you go. So
Yeah,
the nice thing with the HUD, it tells you everything you need on the HUD now to fix and diagnose a lot of the problems, which is really awesome.
They're even telling me in the chat to close the doors. It's beautiful.
I know.
I'm not even on the camera. Usually, if I'm on the camera, it's very obvious when I'm attempting to grip it and rip it. But I'm not even on the camera, and they kind of go like, "You haven't closed the doors, you wally." Hey, I just got an achievement. Woo!
And now you're going for Aachen Station in 1.5 kilometres. Beware, you've got a slow speed approach.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it.
40 kilometres.
Sometimes I'm on it. I mean, it's fair to assume that sometimes I'm not. Hold on, I'm on it. Not my best. All right, I'll try it again if a target of opportunity comes up. Right.
One of the other things we've done, I don't know how well it's showing up on the streams, is one of the engineers has spent quite a long time looking at the way that the sleepers and track render into the distance.
Yeah.
And has actually made quite substantial improvements into that without any performance performance implications. So slow down.
Oh, I was distracted. I was looking at you describing shadows doing stuff with things. Alright, I might need a little bit more aggressive braking here. Here we go. That's it. No, we'll be alright. It'll be okay. I just burned a few. I got 8,500 points when I did this earlier. I'm not getting that now.
No.
You don't need to say it so matter-of-factly. You can show, oh, you never know, you might be close. But no, shatter me dreams.
You're at 7,000.
This might be
That's
worth.
fine. You know what,
this
we
might be
enjoyed
worth
the run
2,000 points. You never know.
It might be. It might be the best stop ever, or a SPAD.
There you go. Come on there, Tiger. That's it. Yeah. Come on, and anytime you like. That's it. Bring her in. 6 meters, 5 meters. That's not completely awful.
That's not bad at all.
I've done better. I usually get within 2 meters at least. But there you are. Yeah, good. Can you ask Matt?
Sorry, the other thing
is Matt smiling? Matt's always smiling when he's delivering me bad news.
So just occurred to me actually on the right hand side there with the HUD there, it's the -100 is actually the direct brake control. It's because it's in the release position. If you just look down and operate that right hand brake lever a little bit, you can see that that value will change. There you go. So that's the way you manually control the air brakes on the loco.
Okay, gotcha. So it's going to show me my scores on the doors now. It's not going to be pretty. Oh, actually, I only finished up 500 points lower than I was before.
That's not bad.
So there you go. Oh, if all else fails, use full reverse. And sand, got to use them both at the same time or you won't get anywhere. Okay, good. Right. That was not a good run. But, you know, we got there. And that's always something. Right, now, because we're switching over, I'm going to do this. Right, let's fire this up. There we go. There you are.
So this is the Talent 2, and you can see the it's got the RE9 heading to Siegen, and then now it's actually scrolling the via list of stations along the side there as well. So we added the dot matrix support with the 377 on East Coastway, and we're now able to do more dynamic stuff with that.
Phil, man, Phil, there's more of this because we've got the other one coming up. You're the one who recorded loads of it. I left it run for the entire, duration. Come on.
Go. So
what else is good about it?
It gives you a lot more information about what's going on. You also get the RE9 Siegen on the front of the train as well. The FIS is set up in the cab, so you'll go into the left-hand screen, use the FIS option to then choose which destination setup you want, and then that pulls the information up on the sides. All the AI trains have been set up to show the correct destinations as well, so you'll be able to see where they're going.
There you go.
This is the ICE 3M, and here you can see it's an ICE 316 from Frankfurt to Brussels Midi. And then I'm not sure how clearly that's coming out, but in the middle there, it's actually scrolling all of the stations between Frankfurt and Brussels that this train is stopping at, starting with Köln, where that train is. So obviously you're only going to be driving between Köln and Aachen, but it gives you the complete list so that you know exactly what's going on. The team have done a really those destination boards have come out exceptionally good. They're really good.
Now, what I want to... So, what are we going to look at today?
We are going to look at the Bakerloo line. Please excuse my mouse. There is a reason for the mouse, but we won't go into it. We are going to be looking at the Bakerloo line today. And so I thought we would do a run from Elephant and Castle to Harrow&W'stone, and just do the entire length of the route so you can see the whole thing. And then we'll go and look and spawn on foot at a couple of locations, like the depots at London Road and at Stonebridge Park. And then maybe we'd sit around at Queen's Park, which is quite a busy station on the route, and watch trains just to finish the stream up and answer any questions that might come up.
Smashing. So, so as we did last time around, we'll disappear from the screen so that you can see as much of the game as possible, because you don't want us getting in the way of it. But we will try to answer questions that come up in the chat. But given that the chat's likely to be quite busy, I cannot guarantee that we'll get to any. So if your question gets asked, well done. All right, where are we going then, Matt? You're driving.
All right, I'm going to turn the cameras off. So wave everybody. That's it. We've dematerialised. Right, we're going to start Elephant Castle and we're going to go Harrow&W'stone. We'll do it about 7:40. Why not? It's as good a time as any. So the naming of the services. So this one is 231, I think, -05. Yeah, 231-05. So this is train 231 doing its 5th service of the day. Elephant and Castle to Harrow&W'stone. So we're in platform 3 by the looks of it. So you can see the weight of the train here, 185 tons. Right, so before we get started, I just want to get the key in, so activate the train and put the reverser in. We're now in control. Get the doors open and pop outside and have a look. What we could do, actually, this is a good time to just explore the train.
So someone asked a moment ago whether this was on the development build or the production build. This is pretty much a production build. It's like, 1% short of a production build. Not the. Is this the production build at the moment? No, it's not. We'll be doing more builds before the game goes out.
It's pretty close, as you say, though.
But it is pretty close. So this is not on development build this time round. What I suggest we do is, if you and I shut up entirely on this first station run, so between platforms, because a lot of people want to hear what it sounds like. Yes.
There'll be plenty of options for if you can't hear it, so just shout. The screen tearing is going to be my machine, probably.
Well, that probably is not good enough. Is it your machine?
I believe it's my machine, yeah. When I run it locally, I don't get that. So one of the defining characteristics of the underground is dark. Turn on the lights. So you've got cab lights, which you can control. There's 2 lights and you've got independent control of them. So it's not far between stations on this route. Get speed limit increased shortly.
Have you got your headlights on?
I do. That's what. Well, that's what it's like when they're off.
That's dark.
Headlights really don't do an awful lot on these trains.
Could we get a little more train volume?
Mm-hmm. How's that, folks? That means more sound volume, but 380 yards to Lambeth North.
Okay, good stuff. So, for those who don't know, how many stops are there on this particular route? I see you looking away from the person standing on top of the sign. Embrace the insanity.
Of course it's that.
There you go, that's it. They've sorted themselves out now.
They've gone. It's fine.
Yeah, not quite a production build. Not quite.
I think it's something like 25 stations. I can't remember the exact number. It's a
Okay.
lot. It's a lot of stations. Someone asked about whether the platform repeaters are there. Yes, they are. But there was one just next to me, but I'll show you on the next station where the next one is.
Can we get a bit of whistle as well, please? Just, I know it's not realistic at this moment, but let's hear it.
So down here you got the whistle. I put that on so you can see the cab. If you want a bit more audio, by the way, what we can do is we can put the interlock on this drop light, and then we can open the drop light, and it won't cut the power out.
So unlike other trains, this will actually cut the power if you open the window while in motion.
Yep. Well, at all. If you're at the station and you open the window, if you don't, you won't be able to take power and get moving until you either do a cutout or close the window. It's presumably to stop unfortunate accidents. Coming into Waterloo. So this is one of those repeaters. Some of them are actually, you find them halfway down the platform in some cases.
Right.
Some people are asking about the mirror as well. That's the mirrors. As we talked about on some of the other streams, it's somewhat faked, but it does give a reasonably.
Well, it's not. It's not so
effective-
much that it's faked. It's a default operator from within Unreal, right?
Yeah.
So it's a reflection, but it's not a true mirror.
Yeah.
If that makes sense,
Yes.
which it probably doesn't. Right. Talk us through the operation of the controls. We had someone say, "Go on, give us a once-over of how we're actually moving here."
So it's pretty much all done on this control. So as I move it out of the electro-pneumatic brake settings into the off and release, if I now push it into shunt, we've now got, well, as soon as the brakes finish releasing, there we go, we've now got minimal power, so it'll accelerate slowly up to a point. If we then put it into series, we'll accelerate a bit faster. For those of you who are familiar with third rail EMUs, with series, parallel, weak field, all that stuff, it's the same basic principle as that. And then so this is just shunt, series and parallel. You get quite a big kick when it switches into parallel, but these things don't go especially fast. The top speed on the roof is 45 miles an hour, but actually once you get above about 20, the acceleration curve comes off quite dramatically. Which is fine, because in the underground section, you're only talking 500 or 600 yards between stations, so you're doing a lot of speeding up and a lot of slowing down. So I'm just dropping it into off and release, so we're now coasting back into parallel because we've got a speed increase to 30. And then once we get up to the 30, I can put it back into off and release. Again, now we're coasting. And then this train has got two different brake systems. It's got the electro-pneumatic, so this is the rheostatic brake. We're in Rio 1 whole, which is a small amount of brakes. Rio 2 is quite a lot of brakes. This thing stops on a dime. You can come a lot harder into these stations than I am, and still stop quite nicely in the right place.
You say that, Matt, but I mean you almost overran that one.
That's perfect.
Ish. I saw where the green lozenge on the floor was. You were close, but no cigar. Megasim's asking if you can use the Westinghouse brakes.
You can indeed. I won't because I've not practiced it, but there's a switch here called EP brake cut-in. If you cut that out, you will lose the electro-pneumatic brakes, and then you'll need to switch over to, if I come over here, you can see you've got all the different settings for, you've got lap, service lap, those are the air brake on the Westinghouse, so those all work. Get the air brake charged up again. if you put it into certain brake settings, it releases the dead man's handle, which means that the air brakes apply. In which case, you just have to wait a moment before before it will let you go. Closing the wrong doors, aren't they?
That would be helpful to close the right one. Keep your mind on the game. And that's not easy explaining what you're doing while driving, but no, you're doing fine work.
Right, so we're off to Charing Cross now. So this is the map while we're on the run. So there's Charing Cross and other stations. That, I think, is Paddington. Kilburn Park, Queen's Park. And we are not breaking the speed.
So we're going to complete this run first, and then we'll do a little bit of exploration and looking around the train in full, and showing off a few more bits and pieces. I think we might just stand around looking at the passenger information screen for 5 minutes.
Well, when we get to Queen's Park, we're going to stand around Queen's Park, and I've lined up a time of day which has a number of trains coming in for us to enjoy looking at, which we can sit and watch the passenger information boards doing their thing at the same time as well.
So to confirm what we've mentioned about announcements before, are there any announcements at all, even if they're just canned, or is it a zero announcement scenario that we've got going on here?
Very occasionally you'll hear an announcement. They're please don't leave trash on the platform, and stand back from passing trains, and they're fairly generic canned expressions.
I hope they don't say trash, for that would be American.
Trash. I'm married to an American. I put gas in my car as well. I moved the giant pink mouse cursor away.
This isn't a dev build, Adam. Since you're asking, this is a near finished production build. So we'll be rebaking production builds repeatedly before they are finally sent for submission next week. Well, not submission. They've been through submission already, haven't they?
Yep. Certainly have. Right, Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is really interesting. In fact, there's a common theme across the entirety of the Bakerloo line, was that all of the stations, or a lot of the stations, were extended to allow longer trains by, I think it's one carriage. And what you find in a lot of cases, it just gives you like this odd sort of extra bit to the platform. But Piccadilly Circus, they couldn't really do that because it was too close to the other tracks. So you get this kind of weird chasm at the end of the platform here. Sort of unique on this line. There's a couple of places on the line where the kind of a wander around, have a quick look at this one, where the you'll see like openings between where you can see the other tracks, but this is the only platform where you actually
I am
see.
familiar with it.
You can hear the announcement going off in the background now.
You're going to make us late.
I know it's late. Collectibles. For
All right,
anyone that
okay.
likes
Well, look,
collectibles.
since we're here, I see you wanted to drop a crafty newspaper off.
Yeah.
Well, just go and clean out the carriages. There'll be loads. Okay, smashing. For those of you slightly concerned about the amount of tearing going on, that is due to Matt's PC more than anything else. I mean, I've played it and haven't seen that much tearing, so we're running with what we've got here today, rather than an optimum demonstration rig.
Can't understand. When I last tried streaming using this for another thing, it was completely fine. So I don't know why it's doing it today. I mean, something's daft up a reboot.
Are these unique train sounds that we've got going on here, or have we remixed stuff that we've done before, or
All
what's
sorts
the-
of
what's the
things.
story?
Getting recordings of these trains was very difficult. We weren't able to do what we normally do when we record trains for various reasons, some of which is just TfL safety practices. But we were able to go for a couple of sessions to go and get recordings as well as the photography sessions from the trains, and mixed those recordings with some of the other stuff that we've got that sounds similar, and created the sound set, which we think sounds pretty authentic actually, compared to the real thing. But there's a mixture of the two essentially.
How about the kind of the rail noise that we've got going on? Because it is quite pronounced. I was quite surprised by just how noisy we'd made it. It came pretty close to sounding like the real deal.
Yeah,
Are
the rail
freshly
squeal is
constructed noises.
Yeah, the rail squeal is a fairly common thing actually, and it's a sound effect we've had in the game for quite a long time, and so it's more how it's applied rather than the actual sound itself, and so the audio team have spent a lot of time in this instance, working out how the sound is applied, what would make it sound authentic when it's applied based on speed you're going, how sharp the corners are, and that sort of thing.
Common request at the moment is: have you got the passenger lights turned on?
I don't actually. Good point.
You trying to terrify these people?
Oh, hello. No. Upset, that's what we want. Hey, we got passenger lights.
There you go. That's better.
Press the right button. I can do property.
And I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, because I should know better, but you can turn off the coloured track section to show you where to finish, to stop, right?
Yeah, I'll do that at next station.
Okay.
I know you
James
can on
asked,
PC, actually.
we'll stroll down the train in a little while and show you the full length of the train. So we'll show you the middle section. Sorry, Matt, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
So the turning off the coloured markers, I know how to do it on the PC. I'm not 100% sure if it's in the settings for the console. But if you've got a keyboard, then the same control sequence works on the console if you've got a keyboard as well. I need to go and find out if that's in the settings.
For those of you who are asking general questions, we do have another Q&A session booked for tomorrow. So try and restrict your questions to Bakerloo related only, or what you're seeing now only, and you've got a much greater chance of them being answered today. We are doing another Q&A stream tomorrow, so hold your questions for that, please.
Quite atmospheric if you turn off the lights in your room and you're driving in the dark. One of the things I like is seeing these islands of light in the distance as you see the stations coming around the corners, particularly where they're around corners and you can see them dancing around a bit. I'll put the light on again so you can see. So Control 7 turns that off.
The Mind the Gap announcement is not present. We're going to go for a wander around the station when we finish this run, but Matt is already vastly behind schedule. Flip, what's going on with her?
I don't know.
She's straight out of the Umbrella Academy. Okay, well, I mean, she's about to go off, so you better not vex her and be late to the stop that she's trying to get to.
Besides the platform. Oh look, door indicator, left. There you go. We added a door indicator. Top notch.
If you wouldn't mind doing a little bit of horn on the way out. Or whistle, whichever takes your fancy. Can the front door be opened?
No,
Someone up?
the front door can't be opened.
Cannot be opened. Okay. But you can move from cab to cab, though.
Oh yeah, you can move from cab to cab, and you can open all the doors intermediate between carriages, so you can go from one end of the train to the other without leaving the train. Baker Street.
So the number of passengers that we're seeing here is pretty representative of what we're going to see in the final version.
Yeah.
Does it get any busier for rush hour?
Different times of the day you'll see different passenger levels. This has been present in all the routes we've done. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, so
It should be rammed.
It should be fairly busy, according to what it's going to be.
Fairly busy? When was the last time you went on the tube? It should be rammed. But we know already that the way we handle passengers in Train Sim World and in Train Sim World 2 is not up to the standard that you or we would like. So it's something that the development team are aware of. However, we've got passengers standing up in the cars, so there is a nod towards some level of realism.
Someone's asked about the rate switch, which is up here. The rate switch controls how fast the power applies. So if you're in a low adhesion situation, you can use the rate switch so that it doesn't slip the wheels as much as you pull away, things like that. Normally you'd leave it in the standard rate 2, but rate 1 will cut back the amount of power that's applied. So it's just like a snow mode in an automatic car.
Well, we should load up something a little bit wet and miserable, and you can do a bit of an adhesion demo for
I can
us.
do that, yeah. Marylebone.
I know it well, but I'm usually going the other way.
Those that know the station well, you'll recognise the Great Central naming on the wall there.
We turned the stop overlays off, Train Boy. Just so you know, they exist. We just turned them off. Is the gradient supposed to be in percentage rather than ratio? So 0.3%.
You can change that in the settings, but I need to go and double check what it's defaulting to actually. You can choose how you want it to be.
Okay. Have we made keyboard mapping possibility, or controller mapping for that matter, to open the doors?
Controller, use D-pad left, D-pad right. Keypad can't, no. Keyboard, you'd still use the tab key and use the menu. But controller, it's D-pad left and D-pad right. Or obviously, as I'm doing, you press the button on the dash.
So these the stop times that we're getting at the stations, are they dynamic? So if there are more passengers to load/unload, or if we're running behind schedule or something like that, does it adjust the stop times automatically?
No, the time there is based on a fixed calculation when the timetable was built. Effectively, it runs a simulation of all the trains running up and down and notes when it was able to reach when it reached all of the stations or what time it did everything. That then gets put into the set of instructions so that that is your timetable, so you are therefore either early or late on that timetable. To meet the timetable, you do have to drive pretty hard. You have to come in the stations pretty hard and use the full braking of the train at the end. It's I did a run yesterday and I was able to keep up with the timetable, but it's not easy.
Okay.
Paddington next.
Okay, once we're done in Paddington, let's turn the whole of the HUD off for the station afterwards. so that we can get a full HUD-less effect going on.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently your destination board is wrong. Can we actually get an external view when we're next in a station? I know you can't jump out while we're in motion, while we're in the tunnel, but can we get an exterior camera while we're in the station?
We can get an exterior camera, but it's only a head out, so you can't. If you want to look at the front of the train, you can't see it.
I don't. Any external angle other than the one we can get on foot would be quite good fun.
Okay, I can do that for sure.
Do the door buttons animate?
Do the door buttons animate? You mean, do they press in? Oh, go and have a look. I must admit, I've not looked, because if they press in, they press in only by a millimetre or two. I'll zoom in. That clicking you can hear in the background is a unique behaviour, a sound effect on this train as well. It's yeah, there you go, it's animated. Yeah, that's a unique behaviour on this train. Is the part of the camshaft control system on this, as it's internally notching up and notching down based on what you've asked it to do with the main handle. So you'll hear it not clicking up and clicking as it goes up through the power or down. Oh, you wanted an external. Okay.
So you leaning out of the window there?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Just press the 3 key to get an external view. Press 3 key to get back into it. Or if you're on a controller, you click the right stick.
Okay.
Warwick Avenue.
Right, at the moment, YouTube chat is not showing up in here, so I'm just going to load the chat up now on a separate screen, because, you know, that's the kind of thing we like to do. So, World 2, there we go. There we are. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, thank you. Good, right. There you go, right. Hello there, YouTube chat. I can now see what you're saying.
Stations Warwick Avenue, and it's just before that speed drop, which is good. Means I can keep up the speed.
How far have we got to go till we hit the overground section?
Not that much longer. When we stop here, I'll bring up the instruction list and we'll see how many stations. I know before Queen's Park you've got Kilburn Park and Maida Vale. I can't remember what comes before that.
You forgot to turn the HUD off. HUD off after this station, please.
Next station. Yeah.
Let's do at least one station to station with the HUD off. Can you go HUDless on PS4? You can, can't you?
Yeah. What you do is you press and hold. Where's my PS4 controller? There it is. I've got no camera. You press and hold the options button. So let me turn the HUD off.
All right, let's get the cab light off as well, so that we can have full immersion going into through the next tunnel. How do you deal with the dead man's handle, particularly on console?
It's automatic. You can manually click it on and off if you want to, but it will apply itself and release itself automatically.
So what year is this this underground route set in?
Modern, so nowish. So Waterloo Station, for example, has changed a number of times. Well, for a while there, it had piano keys on the platform, and they're not there anymore, and so they're not there in the route. So we tried to make sure the stations match up with how they are now.
Someone else asking about whether these were new sounds or whether we'd reused stuff that we've had before. There's a combination of different sounds that we've used before. There's some new bits and pieces, but overall, this is it's a facsimile of real, as we weren't able to get a proper recording. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we were able to go out and do recording trips, but they're not the kind of recording trips we would normally like to do to get the best sounds. So we made do with what we could get.
How long does it take to go end to end? If you were driving the entire length
About
of the
an
route?
hour.
Okay.
We're going to look at the.
All right, you're allowed to put your lights and your HUD back
so
on.
that was Maida Vale. So the next station is Kilburn Park. The one after that is Queen's Park. So one more station, and then we're on our way out of the tunnel.
And are we doing the full run here? So we're going.
Yeah, but this was a run all the way to Harrow&W'stone.
Okay, and we started from Elephant and Castle.
Yeah. Which means the only things we haven't shown are the two depots, essentially, at that point, which we will show afterwards.
Do we get a suitable amount of racket if we go over junctions and switches and so on?
There's clunks. You should be hearing the clunks. It might be more audible once we do a bit. We're going to do a little bit of a stand around at Queen's Park, and you'll hear the trains clattering around over there. But you should hear it still from the cab.
What resolution are you currently playing at? So when I did the ICE last time around, I was playing at 4K. That was then scaling down to show at 1080p. That was then being mutated by streaming coding. What are you playing at now?
1080p. My machine can't do 4K.
Okay, so you're playing at 1080p and then it's being encoded and then it's being eaten. So if you compare basic quality, I realise it's two separate routes, but if you compare basic quality between the two, you'll see a slight difference between the quality levels.
Right, that's it for the underground. Last leg underground on the tunnel now until we hit the next station will be overground. One of the things that's really nice actually is you come out of the tunnel into Queen's Park. It just captures this feeling of we've got the shed on the right, the brick wall on the left separating with the main line, and it should be instantly recognisable, I hope.
Having just clocked the signal, one of the questions we were asked for tomorrow's Q&A, and it makes sense actually to ask it here, is do the trains on the underground, do they work in accordance with reality, where it's the front of the train that dictates a speed limit rather than the rear?
No, it doesn't. No, so it's still based on the same mechanism that Train Sim World has always used, which is the speed limit of the train is the lowest speed limit anywhere in the train, which so it looked like it's at the back of the train essentially. So it is something that we made the engineering team aware of, but we weren't able to make that change for this. Watching my speed.
Here we go, out and about.
This is a really interesting signal, this one at BB31, BB32, because it's a combination of so many different things. You've got the main head, which is the signal to clear you to Harrow&W'stone. This is then a copy of that pointing down, the coacting head so that you can see it more easily if you're parked right up close to it. This semaphore is for if you're going into the shed. That theatre is telling you which part of the shed ports you're going into, and the rail gap indicators tell you whether or not the electrics are switched off in front of you, which isn't simulated, so you'll never see that switched on.
Okay.
But we've put the RGI signals in all the places they should be. Next station is Kensal Green. We've got our green light.
So for those who didn't catch the Bakerloo dedicated Q&A, initially we're releasing we're releasing Bakerloo with 200 operating services throughout the day. The aim is to increase that to 450, but that needs a little bit more development time in order to get it to work. We don't have the current timeline for that happening, but obviously we'll let you know as soon as we've got a schedule for that. So it will be 200 services in total at launch. Is it exactly 200?
202, I think, something like that. You can see it in the menu actually when we go back to the menu.
Let's call it 2 for the sake of hope.
Yeah. And I've seen some confusion on a Facebook group somewhere. They were saying, is it 200 plus the 450, or it's the other one will be a total of 450. So no, it's not 650 like some people were thinking. Should get speed up in a moment. Next station is Kensal Green.
Can we get an outside view now we're outside?
Just thinking that myself.
Now, for those of you asking about the roadmap, we delayed the release of it. It's going to be out next Tuesday. So Tuesday will be the first release of the roadmap, and we'll do a stream to answer your questions about it that evening. We did say the week before, but it will still be before release. But we're going to be updating the roadmap on Tuesdays, so it felt sensible to do the first one on a Tuesday.
Right, coming up on Kensal Green.
We're going to have a look at some adhesion mechanics in a moment or two. Once we've finished this jaunt, we'll do an adhesion test in the rain.
I'll show you how easy it is to totally lose grip with this thing. It's been very amusing watching the beta testers played it, and confidently go from being in the dry to being in the wet and completely missing their station. I may have laughed at them. I may also have done exactly the same thing myself on many occasions too, but
presumably if you run a red light on this, you still fail?
yes, yeah, running a red light is still just as bad as normally running a red light. You have no right to judge. Right, W'stone Junction is the next one. So we've got West Coast Main Line over on the left, and as has been mentioned a few times, there is no AI traffic on the West Coast Main Line.
At the next station, if we could have an exterior view while you're closing the doors so we can get the loudest thunk possible.
Sure.
When you reach the terminating station, do we have any services whereby you can then jump out, go jump in the other end and head back the other way?
This train will do exactly that, almost certainly. They don't hang around at Harrow&W'stone long before they turn around and head back the other way again.
So you could get out and drive it straight back again if you felt like it?
Yep. Especially given how late I'm running, I'm almost certainly going to be causing a delay on the following service. Because that's how I roll.
Sam, we'll talk about wheel slip and slide protection when we do the adhesion demo presently, because then we can go into how you can actually, because a lack of adhesion is all well and good unless you've actually got the means to be able to cope with it. What spec are you actually running on there, Matt?
This is a laptop running 20 GTX, a 2070 and i9 some mobile processor.
How much RAM?
32 gig.
Okay.
Because I do dev on this machine. The game certainly doesn't need it. Nice. Get off his head.
I was about to ask you about stuck doors, but there appeared to be a stuck passenger. We've covered that before, but I'll mention it again. The West Coast main line that is visible is literally just scenery. So you cannot put trains on it using the scenario planner, and there are no AI services running on there as part of this route. Crazy, yes, the game can run on a laptop, but let's face it, this is quite a serious laptop.
Yes, oh yes, this is a hardcore laptop. Right, Harlesden is next, and then I think we're at Stonebridge Park, and I'll show you where the exit to the depot is when we go past there. And so there's services that actually use, so there's services in the timetable that let you depart from both Stonebridge and London Road depots, and also go back into those depots as well.
Is there AI running in the opposite direction? Yes, we've seen a few. What sort of? I mean, this is where the number of services comes into play, and normally on a busy time of day on the London Underground, it's about 600 services on the Bakerloo line, isn't it?
There's 36 trains in total running at any one time at busy hours, which is, I think I read somewhere actually, someone else said it was more like somewhere between 600 and 1,000 services. So it's very busy, whereas this timetable there's 9 trains running around, so that's why it's a bit harder to see trains going in the other direction, but you will see them. We have seen a couple so far on this journey at least. We'll probably pass some on the underground where you wouldn't see them, unfortunately. Right, next stop is Stonebridge Park.
Do us a quick flash of the map again, please.
So that's the map. That's Elephant and Castle down here, the 2 sidings. London Road depot, which then joins up onto the main line. Coming around to Queen's Park. And you've got the main line, where we are. Stonebridge Park depot is up here. And then as you come further up here, you get to Harrow&W'stone and the turnaround side.
For those of you asking about whether we're going to add more London Underground routes or whether we're going to add stuff to the main line in the future, we're not talking about what's being added in the future, because we want to focus on what we've got right now, rather than what might or may be in the future. We mentioned it before, but if you were doing a full end-to-end service, it would take about an hour. The question, is TSW2 already gold now? Well, the concept of gold doesn't really exist in this digital universe. This is a production build, which means it is one that would be released, or could be released, as in a shape to be released. It is not the same production build as the one that will be out a week from today. So it is a living, breathing entity. There will be continuing updates applied to it after it initially releases. So where there's no disc-based release, the concept of going gold doesn't really exist anymore.
This is Stonebridge Park.
There's a lot of services parked in there. Just unleash them all. Let them all out.
Let's let the dogs
press
of war.
the fire button. Let's go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel old. Nothing wrong with your terminology, of course, but there you go.
Right, Wembley Central is the next. At this point, we actually cross under the West Coast main line, so we go down a hill, down a grade, cross under the main line, and then back up the other side, and we're now on and then we'll be on the other side of the West Coast main line until we finish at Harrow.
Nigel, the footage you're looking at right now is running on a laptop. Now, it's quite a beefy laptop, but it is a laptop nonetheless. Could we have a look at Wembley Stadium?
You can see Wembley Stadium. Wait till I get to the other side. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. I saw it the other day. My geography's terrible. Let's wait for the train to catch
Strong
up.
navigation going on there.
Huh?
Strong navigation going on.
Strong.
If you want to see the specs that this will run on, please visit the Steam page and it will give you the PC specs. Obviously it will run on the PS4 and the Xbox One. It was the other side, Matt. Just, FYI.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'll have a look once I park the train.
Are there any differences between the routes and scenery on different platforms?
So some of the models are slightly lower detailed on the console, but the same models are present, and not that much, no. Some of the render distances are a bit lower on the consoles. Where is it then? Oh yeah, there you go.
It's that big stadium looking thing over there.
That thing. North Wembley, South Kenton, Kenton and Harrow and W'stone, and then we pull into the siding.
For those of you asking general questions, we will be answering general questions on tomorrow's Q&A stream. For those that we don't actually get to, questions that have been submitted in advance, there will be general Q&A threads to kind of cover everything that we've talked about and some that we haven't as well. There shouldn't be any major stuff in there, but we'll post those up on the official forums so that you can get all of the kind of nuanced detail that you're looking for.
One other thing that's worth noting actually is if you want to reverse this train, you need to use this reverse lockout. Just putting it in reverse won't work, so you need to use the reverse cutout, then put it in reverse, then you can drive the train. Just tip there in case you find yourself overshooting stations at all, particularly in the wet.
Yes, this live stream will be available to re-watch pretty much as soon as it's done. If you head over to the YouTube channel for Train Simulator, you will be able to find the stream there as soon as YouTube has finished chewing it up and digesting it appropriately.
South Kempton's next.
Oh, welcome back to the party there, Restream bot. If you're on Twitch or YouTube, the Restream bot there is just to tell you what the chat is going on the other channel. Feel free to mute them if they're getting in the way.
Coming in South
Can we get a close-up of the suspension if you've got time before the next go?